Yeah, and you didn't hear the cue there, but Spaceship Mal has just taken off. Countdown. 2, 1, boom. Right. But I'm not a Starlink. So I'm still working, if you see what I mean. At least I hope I'm working. We'll find out by the end of the show. My name is Mal Burns, and this is the Inworld Review. It's a show where we look at people, places, destinations on what's called the Hypergrid. Wonder what the Hypergrid is? Well, it's the system that connects open simulator worlds, virtual worlds, together so you can jump from one world to the other and take your assets, the inventory it's called, and communicate between them. Very much like the old Second Life world, but whereas that's a walled garden and you can't jump out to other worlds, on the Hypergrid, you can jump everywhere. Servers all over the world, destinations in all the worlds, basically. The possibilities are endless. Anyway, enough explanation on the general front there. We don't really need it. Not for regular viewers, anyway.
Mel,
yes?
You may want to trigger your lip movement.
Oh, that is very weird. My lips were open earlier. Who's got some invisible masking tape over it?
I don't know.
I'm indignant. I don't like having masking tape stuck on my face, even when I can't see it. I think I'm flapping now a bit. Not a very good flap. Come on. This is like looking at. You wouldn't believe that doing this job is like looking in the mirror, you see, and I've got to press buttons this here, there, and everywhere until I'm speaking, or moving, speaking, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Right. Okay. To my right-hand side is my right-hand man, the wonderful he of sits and knobs, basically, and he chats as well. It's James Atlloud. Welcome, James.
Oh, thank you, Mal. It's a blast to be here. I've got some lovely new footwear that I've been enjoying a lot, but I had it.
There goes the camera. My goodness!
Yeah, I had it.
Oh my goodness! They look like they're day glow or something.
Right, but they're not. They were really glowing on the safari this week, but I tried to tone that down a little bit.
Got a bright shirt on too for that,
and a bright shirt and bright glasses.
Oh yeah, quite a contrast with black jeans, but nevertheless, it's good to see your fashion sense is coming along a bit. Well, maybe eventually you'll be like me and you can just stick with one costume and nobody will complain because it's just so damn good.
I have to thank Tosha for helping me get these Crocs. She made the model.
Oh,
that was wonderful.
Oh, you're very welcome. It was a joy to make it for you.
Yeah,
very good.
Though I heard I did not quite hit your size at first, did I?
They were about the size of a region. It was amazing.
Oh, that's like a lot of jewelry, though, isn't it? People make it vastly oversized, and then they scale it down.
Yes.
That's why it looks so pretty, because you've got embedded little diamonds on a ring on a finger, But in fact, it was built about the size of a ring.
The things that are not rigged, you can size it down or up in Inworld. Once you rig them, it's all over.
Yeah. Well, talking of introductions, of course, on my left-hand side, this is my wonderful co-host. You've just been hearing her anyway. It's Tosha Ryran. Welcome, Tosha.
I thank you for the welcome and thank you to be here. I'm really glad that it was possible again after my computer crash.
Oh, we were in a panic on your behalf. We really were.
I was.
We did a mini show last week, which was probably in about half an hour or something, although there was occupation.
Yeah, I saw it on on YouTube.
Yes, I remember you were. Well, I didn't see it, but James saw you in chat. Yeah.
I think you did well for being only the two of you.
Yeah, exactly. We, as long as we had something to talk about, it didn't really matter. Yeah. And it was a good way of saying that Safari was back. And of course, Safari is a midweek journey that jumps all over the Hypergrid. And we had the first of the new seasons midweek on Wednesday this week. And that's going to be the focus for about half of this show anyway. But we do have a guest with us too, who is also what we call a Safarista, which means she was on Safari with us. So all four of us enjoyed Safari this week, so we got plenty to talk about when we watched the films. So welcome to Star Ravenhurst. Welcome, Star.
Thank you for having me.
Very good. We had you not so long ago. I believe it was in May, I think, wasn't it? We did a show which featured it. In fact, it featured your Lavatruve, if I got the pronunciation right, gallery. But that was actually on another sim. Whereas today you're going to talk about or show us. I'll be showing you your new 10th dimension region, which I popped in yesterday. I think it was yesterday, and sort of started filming. And you spotted me, but I was out of there before you said hello. So
yeah, you were there and then you weren't.
Yeah. Well, when I'm filming, I can't see anything other than what I'm filming, so messages and things don't always pop up. Right. Anyway, so we will get on with the show, I think. And I'm going to start off with a couple of things on our main screen. Right. The first thing up, it's a picture, and basically this is coming up soon. We're entering a sort of conference, event season very much. We'll have the OS Fest coming up before too long. Then we'll be having the OpenSim Community Conference. And then next year, in April, we'll have the next Hypergrid International Expo. Plus, I forget what the exact dates are at the moment for the OpenSim World's Fair, which is
March.
It's March, right? So that would be
1st.
actually that'd be for the HIE. So again, they're looking for people who are interested in exhibiting and whatever. I haven't got the names here directly. You can probably find them at OpenSim World or something. But I'm just going to keep putting this up every week to remind people that it may seem a long way off, but you'd be amazed how time flies. And this purports to be a very big event. I think it's a subgrid on Wolf Territories, isn't it? Do you know? Either of you know whether that's where it is?
Oh, yes, it is on the Wolf Territories grid.
Yeah.
There's like a whole big
mega region.
I don't even know what to call it. Yeah, mega region. It's divided into regions and parcels, and there's still a lot of spaces available if anyone wants to still get in on it. I have one myself, and our friend Cal, she also has one, and it's a really good chance to mingle with the community and show off your own grids as well.
I like the little trailer on the bottom here. Art, technology, fashion, teaching techniques, products, passion projects, talent, representing what's new and innovative while having fun, meeting new people and networking. That says quite a lot, doesn't it, basically? So, I mean, there's obviously some of the more serious stuff there and the more sort of frivolous party and art stuff there all mixed together. So, whereas OS Fest near the end of the year is very much a lifestyle party type thing, and OpenSim Community Conference tends to be the more serious one. This obviously is trying to get everything together in one place. Okay, I came across a video in the week. It's only 90 seconds, but it does sort of belong here, really. The title of the video is "The Metaverse That Can Potentially Beat Second Life." Well, come on, hasn't OpenSim been around for long enough? But obviously, the people on this grid think they can single-handedly beat Second Life. Presumably, they mean with the help of OpenSim.
Welcome to Avatar Life, where imagination knows no bounds. Stay connected with our intuitive video call feature. Collaborate, chat, and share your world with friends, no matter the distance. Enter the Sure Win gaming region, where the games are designed to tip the scales in your favor. Here, winning is not just a possibility, it's a guarantee. Claim your free land and start building your dream world. The only limit is your imagination. Explore the Breedables region, where you can create and trade one-of-a-kind virtual creatures. What will you discover? Step into Barbieland, a stylish paradise where you can express yourself and live out your fashion fantasies. Join us in Avatar Life, where your virtual world awaits. The adventure is just beginning.
Well, you can go on the web to that address and find out more about it. It's interesting, actually, that since been an increasing number of grids opening, that obviously it's not going to take over a second life. It's small, you can tell by the film, but they're like blowing their own trumpets and sort of suggesting that they're a destination for everything. Oddly enough, that one didn't even mention the hypergrid, though I presume. I presume it's will be on the hypergrid or whatever. But anyway, all these things contribute to making the open sim world look good. So who's complaining? Me, of course. Right. Okay. Safari Roundup is the next bit. Now this is kind of interesting. We're everything really today, including Star, is it features the Safari thing a little bit. We have some old clips because we did visit you before Star on your old grid before you moved to 10th Dimension, your new one. What I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to load the slideshow here. There we are. And if I got that right, it should be showing up there. Yes, it is. Now, this is these are some snaps very quickly before we start the film. These are just a few snaps that says Remember talk for her blog, featuring Bo Retrieve there again. Do tell me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, by the way. Bo Retrieve is the way I say it, but I may have got it
You're
wrong.
right.
That's the way I say it.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely right.
I'm right.
However you can get it past your tongue.
Right, okay, that's a good word. That's a good way of telling people how to pronounce things, isn't it? Whatever gets past your tongue, that will do. Okay, this is some of it inside of the gallery there. And I love that. I was saying to you earlier, I love that sort of huge moon.
Yeah,
it really is huge.
The one that you just showed, that's
this one?
Yes. Yep. Yes. This exhibit right here is an upcoming exhibit by our very own Forrest.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yes. That's some of her work.
Ah, okay. I don't know why. I thought that was probably an extension of the Wall of Women.
No.
The other gallery.
No, that's been moved to another part of the gallery. Right. This is the new work that has started coming in to the gallery for the fall exhibit. Right.
Okay, and we'll be talking about this as we go, but basically entries for this are need to be due by, I've forgotten again, 22nd was it this month? And then 29th is the big opening.
I need the work in the gallery no later than the 22nd of September. Because our opening for the exhibits is going to be September 29th.
Yeah.
And we will be having a party starting at 12 grid time. And our opening act will be Rogue Galaxy. Yeah. And then after Rogue, Forrest Azure will be singing as well.
Oh, lovely. And yeah, we had Rogue on this program about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was a sort of very, sort of interesting to have a musical guest that had quite a lot to talk about in the background. Great lady. Yeah. Okay, so I can move on to this one, the big planet in the sky or whatever it is. And this is an EEP, isn't it? I presume. That's what they call those skies, an EEP.
An EEP, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made that for that EEP for the gallery. Although I've changed it for the upcoming exhibit, I have changed the EEP. I altered the one that Cherry Manga used for her special project, which is next to the gallery. It is also part of the opening. So I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied.
Yeah.
I'm using her EEP, but I changed a little bit of it so that the EEP and the sky for the gallery matches hers, because you're going to be able to see all of it, since the region's connected to the gallery. Anyway, so the Egypt is different.
Yeah, we'll probably see it better on the film. Actually, I forget. I presume I put shared settings on. I keep forgetting to do that, or I did in the old days. Right, this is a piece from the gallery, I presume. Very interesting.
Yes, that is a piece by Cherry Manga.
Oh, right. Okay, it's always Cherry. Was Cherry. I think, well, that was an amazing piece, and then yes, it's Cherry.
She is the one that is doing the big exhibit.
Yeah.
In the special projects region, in collaboration with Nico Kalani, is doing the audio for the exhibit, and based on what the music is being created based on what Cherry has created. And so far it's been a really, really good collaboration. I think people are gonna really love this.
Okay, I'm going to start playing. We'll come back to some slides later, but this is the video I took yesterday, and basically I landed on the landing spot of the 10th dimension grid per se, and of course one of the destinations is Le Beau Retrouve, but also as you can see here, Land of Zar, which is an older one. The Electric Vortex is a new one. Is that Mystic Pines? It's have you had that around for long anywhere else, or?
No, that's a brand new region. It's not, even though you can access it from the teleporters, it's not really open yet. I'm still working on it. But I intend for that to be a residential region for, anyone that wants to join the grid, and, they either don't want land, or, they're thinking about getting land, they're not sure, they can have a home for free for as long as they want. There's a lot of people that don't want land. They just need a place to change clothes and hang out and everything, because they spend most of their time, going to the venues and so Mystic Pines is mainly for people like that love to get out and do things, and they just need a place to change their clothes before they go out and to the dances and parties and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, can't be all dressed up with nowhere to go, can we? Right. This is La Beau Retrouve, I think, that I actually picked up as the first stop here. So this is the new version, basically. But the one of the galleries here, which I think we're just a couple of seconds from quickly spinning into, contains an image of Tosha, you'll be pleased to know. But I think this is actually a copy of. Are we getting there? I think we're getting there. A copy of the one you actually had on the other grid before, which you just.
Oh yes, yes. I just laid down the ore. Well, I didn't. Una did.
Yeah, I just popped in the door there, and lo and behold, I saw Tosha, and promptly camped out somewhere else. Come on, I can't see her now. There she is. Right.
Oh, yeah.
But this of course, I do remember the row of the women's row kind of thing from the old gallery as well. So female visionaries in OpenSim. So there you are.
Yes, that exhibit's been moved to this
you're
area.
female and you're a visionary. Congratulations. And you are, of course. Yeah. So this was I didn't stay in there very long, because I realized that I've actually already got film of the inside as it was on another place. So yeah, big sign saying the thing's coming soon. And I do believe now I don't think this is Cherry. I love this.
No, this is a new installation for the upcoming exhibit by Tina Bay.
Tina Bay, sorry. Yeah, I knew you told me earlier.
Tina Bay is a wonderful artist also, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yes, she
I
is.
just really love her work.
Yes. In fact, she's scheduled for to get the special project region for next spring.
Oh, right.
So we already have that lined up.
So yeah, then it's down to well, there's certainly more of That's that one I'm about to zoom into. This is Cherry, I'm sure of it. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so just randomly. Ghost by Cherry Manga. There we are. Date unknown, like that. So basically, around the gallery, you've got various statues and things like that to create a mood. But the statues have been in various other places before. Most of them haven't.
Yeah, that piece right there is actually a real life work.
The blocky one, you mean? That we just
Yes, I forget the name of it. I made a plaque for it, so and wrote up a note card with the information on it in case people are curious about it. Yeah.
Now this was intriguing. I mean, a circular thing with statues, and then this sort of strange multicolor. This is yours, I believe. This is something you
Yes.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, something I made just for fun.
I won't ask you to explain it. You don't do that to artists. It's all in the eye of the beholder, as we say. Oh, and this one, this was a present from who? I think I've seen that elsewhere. Unical, did you say, or somebody?
No, Roland Francis.
Roland Francis. Okay.
Yeah, he gave me a folder with some statues in it that I could use. You know, basically decor around the gallery.
This is the one I love. Look at the movement of this sort of flag thing.
Now that's Cherry's.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just recently installed this. This is I would almost say kind of like a preview of the big project that is soon to be unveiled.
But that face that's on the flag kind of thing has been dominant elsewhere, as it were. But I think the thing that attracted me most to that is actually the movement of the kind of flag thing. It's not just a flag waving in one, one space like the wind. It's sort of bellowing in a lot of different ways. So,
yeah, she uses movement a lot in her work, I think.
So I'm back at the entrance portal here, and I think the next one I'm going to is Electric Vortex. Certainly looked like that, didn't it? Yeah. Now this one, as you explained to me, is really just a work in progress. So there were some rather interesting little things in this rather empty terrain. This sort of unmissable. I love the lights on there. What do we call that? Trees, or are they lamps? I don't know.
Yeah, that's an alien plant that there's actually 4 of them. I managed to find one of them. I used to have all of them, but along with many other things, I lost it, and so I was really hunting for this plant, and I finally found it. And but they only had the one. They didn't have the other 3. And what makes this plant interesting is when you approach it, it starts making an alien noise and moving.
Right.
And I actually recolored it. It's not usually pink.
Right. It's like these lights here, so they just stand out and they give you that kind of. I mean, that's where the electric in the name comes from, or I thought so anyway. There's something.
Yeah, this is a club that I intend to open. I need people though in order to open the club. I need a manager because I want somebody to run it. I don't want to run it. I want to have my hand in it, of course. It is my project, but I want someone to that's experienced, that can take it and
this I love. I love this bit. The camera's just going to go in. There's another pyramid on the other side of the line, and this one I love. Oh, we have to come on, go in there. This is just great. These characters and the dancing, they were like it's like line dancing, but a kind of review or stuff,
Well,
when the aliens,
the little alien girls on the stage, that's actually made by Jimmy Olsen.
Oh right,
and and you can get that for free on his region Euphora.
Sometimes it's not so much the thing, it's what people do with it, isn't it? I've probably seen that
Yes, and that's what I
alien.
did with it.
Yeah.
I gave them their own little club venue across from Electric Vortex.
Yeah. And of course, we saw a few volcanoes in the week on safari. We'll be seeing them later again. This actually looks very much like one of them at what was it? The Canary Islands, Bill. But we'll get to that in a while. Yeah. So I guess this is Pine Estates coming up, or if I can't remember what order I did it in. It's funny teleporting with the camera live. It's normally I arrive places and wait for them to res, but because I was yep, here we are. This is the estates, isn't it? So this is the one where we haven't have people who don't really want a plot, they just want a house or a room to live in, kind of thing.
Another creation by Jimmy Olsen.
Right. Yes, nice. Anything that's got rich color and moves somehow attracts me.
Yeah, this is a region still. Usually I want to build everything, and because of time, this is actually one of my builds. You're inside a courthouse, and I did decide to use that. But mainly, I'm building this region with other people's creations. Um,
Well, it makes
then of
sense
course,
if this is going to be like a residential region because, if everything looks a bit the same, and that people come and some might come and then others will say, "Oh, it's a bit the samey." But when you've got a street with everything that looks a bit
yeah,
different, and
what you're looking at right now, that's a big mess. That's just stuff I have set out that I may or may not use. And in fact, that building right there, the brown one, I already got rid of that. I decided I wasn't going to use it. But yeah, there's so much wonderful stuff out there. I decided that I'm going to build a region using everyone else's things. But of
yeah,
course, I still have to build a little bit. Like there's a building in the downtown area that is a bookstore that I built with a loft apartment above it. In fact, I think that's going to be my home where I'm going to, hang my hat.
right.
But I'm actually going to make that into a real bookstore.
I
But
remember when
more on that later.
yeah, well, I remember when I used to do a little bit of building on my own grid. There was
Sorry.
5x5 to play with, and I said, I'm going to make that my main home. I'm going to live in that one. And then a month later, I've done something else, and no, that was going to be my main home now. So I kept on changing where my residence was on my own grid. It's funny. Right, so we're getting the teleport signs there. This is probably the last one, wherever I come back to here. The rise of civilization in what?
This is you're looking at the 10th Dimension project. And this is something that has been in my head for years. And I've done a lot of research on it.
Yeah.
And basically, this region, I started it on my friend Miss Cal, her grid. And so I took the ore from her grid and put it on the 10th Dimension grid. And it's a long-term project.
What's the relationship between the 10th dimension, the grid, and 10 dimension, the project? Because obviously the other things we've looked at are on the grid, but are they sort of just annexes to the main project?
Oh, how do I explain? The project itself is complicated. It's the region's been divided into 10 parcels, and on each parcel there are 2 possible timelines. Actually, there's an infinite number of timelines, but I had to narrow it down to 2 that I would be interested in exploring. And so I have made like these, little signs and put on each parcel so that you can go and look and see, what's going to be going on with that parcel. And it'll either be, one direction or the other. And the whole region is going to be built like that.
So
And
the timelines are distributed around the particles rather than like the thing we saw in the week where the timelines actually start in the air and come down. But this is one where your timelines would move from parcel to parcel as a timeline. Is that the idea?
Well, you would start like, for example, like ancient, very, very ancient, beginning of civilization.
Yeah.
And where does civilization, where does it start and then where does it go? Well, it could go in a lot of different directions. So you could explore like a civilization that grew from worshiping many gods and then diversified from there, or I don't know.
So a lot of this is going to be participant driven, right? It's not like you're laying out histories, interconnected histories for people to travel through. A lot of it is down to themselves. Is that the idea?
Oh. I'm sorry, I have a really bad cough all of a sudden.
Oh, great. Have a cold drink. We'll move on actually, then I'll give you a little break for your throat for a second. I'll just go back to the last pictures there. Any questions on that region from Tosha and James while we're at this point?
Well, I find it very interesting, the timeline region, but I'm not free of cough today either, so
Oh, wow.
I had one yesterday, but it's gone to
I'm sort of short-breathed with the cough, Please excuse me on that.
It's the changing planet. It plays havoc with us, doesn't it? James, any thoughts on the new 10th dimension there?
Oh, it's beautiful, and I go to that gallery every now and then. I enjoy walking around and exploring the space. So it's I just love that it keeps getting updated.
Yeah, the same here.
Yep.
The thing of the timelines region reminds me a little bit of one part of the safari where we were on Wednesday past, where I think it was Toots region, where we, it started on the very beginning of, let's say, humankind until, much more.
This is moving on then to the safari this week. This Godfall region that Tosh is just alluding to was the first stop. And these are the pictures basically from Thursday's blog, which you will find incidentally at hgsafari.blogspot.com. That's a lovely one. I actually think the level with the spaceship on wasn't technically included in the thing, but I'll get to that in a minute. Lovely looking builds as well. Mm-hmm. As Tosha was about to say, basically we started in the Netherlands as a spaceship, and not fully explained, but there's a spaceship full of gods or something that was heading towards what is going to be Earth, and then there's some kind of war in the sky or whatever, and then the gods that actually form Earth come down, and then that's level 2 coming down from a height, so to speak. And as you move down the levels, which are in the sky, you're in the same world, but at different stages in its evolution. So this, for example, is lower down when, there it's rocks, whereas by this time there's lots of life blooming and stuff like that. But we'll see it on film in a second. But these are nice shots. And there's somewhere there is a photograph of, it's now James's turn to be on camera. There's a photograph of him sitting underwater here somewhere, I believe. Yes, there we are. Complete with the Dayglow t-shirt and strange boots.
For some reason, James was not rezzing for me that day.
Yeah, I heard other people say that.
All I could see was your shoes. The rest of you was completely white.
I saw the same.
Oh my goodness!
He
Asset
probably got.
servers.
He
It
probably
was
got
And of course, you were
completely white.
in half the pictures that I took.
Oh
oh
my.
dear.
Well, the shoes
Maybe he
were.
got swallowed by one of those jellyfish or something. It must have, I would not have volunteered to sit on a jellyfish, actually. I mean, I'm sort of sitting is one thing, but you've got to have a unpainful.
Oh, it's just the tentacles you have to watch out for, not the.
Okay, yeah, actually, it looks like
not
it's
the hood.
almost like a sort of upside down flying saucer that you
Right,
could
right.
wander around on. Anyway, where would we be without a picture of James sitting on something new?
That's how I saw him all evening long.
Oh, there, yeah, there.
Yeah. That's why I was laughing so much, because at one point or another we were dancing side by side, and it looked like dancing cheek to cheek with a bare ass James.
Oh my goodness!
I think it's safe to say I actually saw it like that too, but I rapidly zoomed away from the crowd and moved into camera mode. So I was quite a lot later on that I came back and got close-ups of the people, so to speak. And again, a hint of that wonderful sky we're going to see.
Yeah.
Very lovely colour here. The sort of plainness of the building, or what I wouldn't call it plain.
The architecture was
Monotone,
wonderful.
yeah, monotones, and then mixed with this colourful, lush, colourful.
Well, what I thought was the most surprising was the underwater scenes, where there were underwater plants together with trees side by side, all underwater. I really liked that. I thought it was so surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw an actual movie, and I don't know whether it was just a few days ago. I watched this. It was it had a similar sort of. It was a fantasy thing, you know, but there weren't trees as we know them on the surface, but they were very big growths on the sand, you know. And they it's the new version of Nautilus, right? And they get in the Captain Nemo submarine, and they step out onto the ground, and you don't know whether it's trees or seaweed or grass or what, you know, they have to fight their way through it to get to the building they're going to. But anyway, I digress, of course. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. Right, I'm not in camera mode, am I? Silly me. Okay, so I'm going to start that playing, and we'll talk a bit more about Toots Zeblin is the guy behind this, and he was actually one of the performance people back at Hypergrid International Expo last year, wasn't he?
Yep.
I think he was actually at both. Certainly at the later one.
So on this video, Mal, do you know, are the golden creatures the aliens or the gods? Did Toots explain that?
Well, no,
I thought they were the aliens.
Okay, that's what I kind of.
I may be wrong, but
but
that's what my understanding.
Well, but aren't gods always aliens too?
I would just cheat on this and go to Safari's blog here, right? This, of course, was the first stop, so we've got a little bit of introduction here. Yeah, that's corny. The first destination for the fall was Godfall. Yeah, very good. On the Pangea grid. Started in SL. I'm not going to read it. It's got, remember, this is a very well blog to read, hgsafari.blogspot.com. So there's quite a lot of articles here, but of course now she's back to at least 2 a week, which will be to do with the show. I remember, right, he said we'd have to start on level 5, which we went to. Now, I think my camera actually headed up to level 6. And I think there was some talk that he started off by saying, here's a spaceship that will protect the Earth. A gold-colored rocket is heading towards the ship, but the goddesses are ready to protect it with their divine powers. And of course, the good guys win. So I think the goddesses are the good guys, and the rocket is the aliens. And then Forrest says, good girls, you mean? Yeah. It's always nice to read the chat log that goes with these things. But the way I read it was that up at the top level, it started a story, so to speak. You know, the aliens came in a ship, and the goddesses, you know, the ancient goddesses or whatever, were protecting the Earth, I guess. and subsequently they seeded. Subsequently, they seed the Earth, and as we move down the levels, you see basic life forming, and then more advanced life. That's the gist of it. I mean,
Yep,
I mean,
understood that.
all
I
of
just
it,
didn't know the depiction of which was which. But
right?
I think Tasha, you're right. Star, you're right. It's the dark characters are the gods and goddesses, and the golden character is the alien.
Right. Yeah, I didn't think it was that clear either, to be honest. Because was it the dark gods that seeded the Earth, or was it the golden aliens
The
who
dark
sound much
gods,
more?
the gods and goddesses were defending the earth.
Oh, right. Yeah, so both of them were, but right, okay. Right. I thought there was a war in space to decide who would get to
That's
see
right.
the Earth.
Yep.
Right. There's a Pixel, other machinima person sort of thing there. Yeah, there's this sort of portal-like thing at the edge of each level, and as you sort of walk through the portal, you moved up or down a level. Basically, you got one of those blue menus asking which level you wanted to go to, and basically, our tour guide, Toots himself, sort of took us from the top and started working us down, so to speak. And yeah, I was oblivious to most of the chat, so I relied on versus transcript to get the full idea. But it's a nice idea. I mean, I kind of like it when this is all on one region, so it's not taking up a massive geographic space, so to speak, but it's representations of time on different layers. And I've always thought, it's a perfect the virtual world. The original Hypergrid was built like this sort of flat pyramid structure where there's layers on top of each other. You don't notice it these days. You just follow a link to a grid. But when Krista first built it, it looked more like a levels thing with the grids at different levels and overlapping. And yeah, I like the idea of that because it's like you having it specified through history. I know it's fiction, but it could equally be a real place.
Yeah, each level was like a scene. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very imaginative, very well built.
Yes, I
And
think so too.
Yeah.
and just another creation story, really.
There was a musician, and she's probably still there. And well, in Second Life, she was known as Grace McDonough, and she had a project for a while called Music Immersion after Music Immersion, I think. Well, anyway, and she released an album, of like 20 songs or something, and an invited audience came along, and we were all made to sit down in this sort of small club kind of thing. And we weren't allowed to stand up after we sat, because what actually happened, she did a live performance just strumming her guitar and singing the whole album, and as the first song got played, the whole audience was raised up one level into the sky, and there was an environment for that song. And then when she moved to the second song, the whole of us moved into an environment for that song. I mean, the only consistent thing was she was strumming her guitar on a stool somewhere in the middle of each environment. But the environments reflected the place the song was set or the mood of the song, and it was wonderful. And she did several performance of it, but I mean, obviously, she wasn't going to spend her whole life doing.
I would have loved to have seen something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen much, because she had another identity in real life who was also very prominent on the web, and I haven't seen much of her at all recently. So, but she's probably retired by now. Actually, she was a very senior position in media. Oh, and the magic opening door with nothing behind it. I love that when that happens. So again, we've got this sky and this big thing. This is another EEP. I mean, it's different from the one you were showing us, Star, of course, but somehow the idea of the big thing in the sky and these sort of electric colors. It seems to be a common denominator with these eeps.
I think really the whole scenes were a proof of that the Earth really is flat and not a round, flat Earth. You see, because you could go to the edge and fall down.
Yes, indeed, you could. Yes, I remember. There's one scene where it's deliberately designed for you to fall down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
I thought that was kind of funny.
I didn't kind of pick up on that, but yeah,
this is underwater, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's still a flat.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Those were the scenes which I thought were so surprising, with the seaweeds and the trees side by side and all underwater. I thought it was really funny.
And this, I do remember this because it's that other little thing in the, it's gone away now. you were meant to step off the edge, said go through the gate or step off the edge. So most people stepped off the edge, and I was filming and I went down there, and from the air I couldn't see when anybody had fallen. They'd obviously the whole safari had fallen into one spot in the underground in the sea. But from the air, I couldn't see them. Everything was a mass of even these sort of fish and foliage and stuff. It took me quite a while of panning around to actually find where safari had landed, so to speak.
That's when everybody landed under the water.
Yeah.
Stepping off the first place and landing under the water amongst the weeds and the fishes and the trees.
Yeah. But they are there somewhere. I find them in the end. Somewhere between some rocks or other, and they landed. That's amazing how 13 minutes of film feels quite long. But it's immaculately built. I mean, if you start, I suppose you get that thing where you start, it feels rather barren and not altogether interesting, except for the backstory when you're up top. But as you move down, these environments become richer, and certainly some of the ground level stuff is quite rich around the stone buildings, but you just you go from not being particularly overwhelmed visually, it's the story that counts, and then by the time you get down here, the visuals are actually overwhelming you. So it's not just a trip through time; it's a trip through the whole complexity of life around you. And very colourful, I must say. Yeah. Were you at the whole safari here, Star? Did you see most of this?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was trying to take photos and pay attention at the same time, and I always get lost. I always get left behind. And then somebody will want to TP me, and I'm not ready to go yet. I'm still taking photos.
Yeah, I'm going to have to retake that shot because your TP box was in it. Yeah.
But you normally take such wonderful photos.
Oh, I found it.
Thank you.
Yes, I was meant to mention that earlier. We've when I introduced Star, we've actually used Star's photos on this show for slideshow bits now and again. Usually on Facebook, actually, I think
I really think you're one of our greatest photographical artists. You do so well.
Oh wow! Thank you.
Yeah,
I just keep practicing.
It is. I mean, it's like any kind of photography. There is an art to it. You can't just plonk yourself down there and think this is lovely and snap.
Yeah.
It's like the people who think their family photographs of people saying cheese is the epitome of photography. It's not.
Well, also, editing editing helps. Learning how to, I've learned how to edit my photos, and that's helpful because sometimes you take a photo and the whole photo isn't all that great. But if you crop it,
Yeah,
you know, you can make it look a whole lot better. So
it's often like that. You're right.
yeah,
I have
so I spent a
every
lot
day.
of time on them.
Yeah, I have a screenshot facility like most people have. I just pull it up from the taskbar and snap web pages, pictures I found on the web all the while. But it allows me to draw the rectangle about what I want. And frequently, I'm not just copying, a painting or something I found on the web, but I actually copy it. So, because I think my crop looks better than the original. Very cheeky, but it's only for me, so it's counting. And this, of course, this is something else I always like. Some people who do underwater builds, you often find they've filled them with ruins, underneath, sort of, like civilization past. At this point, it's already underwater, which makes you wonder just how much time is encompassed in this so-called story.
Well, the region is for sure is worth to, go visit it again and take a closer look at things.
Yeah.
And take more time.
Now, where am I now?
Yeah, I don't feel like an hour is enough time to
For
explore a region like this.
No, but it gives you an idea,
Yes.
It gives you an idea and it gives you a sort of a push to go back again,
I think,
and explore it further.
I don't know whether we were taken officially to this level.
And if you go alone, you're not always irritated by naked James next to you.
But I was skinless too, so no skin. Does that count as naked?
Very naked.
I think in the raw is probably appropriate.
Very, very. I went back to the build, and I think I spent an hour and a half there just exploring on my own. It was wonderful.
Yeah. And it always, there's a big difference. I think near the end here, and we're about 3 or 4 minutes left. I think actually near the end, I actually come down to earth and follow you walking around, because you get a totally different perspective then. So I usually try and follow some of these so as I'm not, you don't see my head and shoulders at the bottom center of the screen. So people will get fed up with that. So I need somebody else to follow. But no, I've just, But what you see from ground level is, much different from the sky. Oh,
yeah, she did amazing.
That's a nice vista. You go up the steps and along, and well, when you walk, that's supposed to try and film it. It's all the flame-like colors in the sky, and then the build itself merging together.
Yeah, that sky's incredible. Beautiful. Build is stunning.
This is what I call electric color, which is probably why when I was on your region, the teleport to the electric, whatever it was, I thought, oh, yeah, that sounds good.
Another aspect of the grid that's easy to forget is that the music in the music parcel is quite good. It's very dramatic, and it really adds to the atmosphere.
Yes, indeed.
That's something I usually. Sometimes I've recorded sound on these clips, and while we're talking, I obviously put it down. But most of these clips, this week certainly, they're all silent because I know we're going to be talking over them. And it wouldn't hurt to record sound. Sometimes you can always, put it down. Yeah, even these little crystals there hidden away on the. This is the ground level, as I called it, the level on which we started. So we're above the water considerably, I think, but it's but as you say, these trees actually, compared with the ones underwater, these trees look rather static, don't they? Whereas underwater, everything seemed to be moving. Yeah. So I go, well, oh no, it's about a minute and a half left or something. But we all enjoyed this, I think, because it's a very good start to the Safari season, and indeed the next one coming up, which I think this was the highlight, the first stop, but the Canary Islands kind of build that's coming up in a minute.
Oh, I thought the Canary Islands were very nice as well.
Oh, for sure, both of them were. I'm being unfair, really, trying to say one's better than the other. We've got two very good builds to actually start the season.
They're different. They're very different builds.
Yeah, the Canary Islands were somewhat patriotic. You know, local patriotism, but I liked it very much.
Yeah, well, the first one was based on fantasy and fiction, and the second one was more realism and based on a real life place.
Yes.
So, exact opposites.
Okay, these are Thursday's pictures of the second destination, the Canary Islands. They have a different name, and the region is, I guess it's...
Terra de Volcano.
Is it Italian or something, the name? I don't know.
Spanish.
Spanish,
yes.
Yeah, because that's going to, yeah, right. So, actually, since most of this is sort of colourful.
And she has met real-life photos everywhere, so you can appreciate the closeness of the build to the reality.
Yeah, that was a very nice touch. I like that.
Love that building, the graffiti on that wall. That's another thing I snap on Facebook all the while is architecture with murals on the side, that are just sometimes surreal. Well, now, this is an example of a volcano.
Yeah.
And we'll see in a minute that light show of fireworks too.
I'm quite familiar with the Canary Islands. I've been there quite a few times because I have a cousin that lives there for about, I don't know, 40 years must be now. And she practices as a doctor on Fuerteventura. And so I was very curious to look around, and she really did a very, very realistic job.
Well, I believe she said that she's from there.
Yes,
her
and
homeland.
and she lives there. She was born there and she lives there.
And more aquatic adventures as well.
Like this, for example, that I was at this event a couple of times.
So it's a carnival thing? I did flying dolphin.
No, it's just one time a year since, I don't know, since already a long time. All kinds of
it's like 85 or 87.
Yeah, exactly. That love the what do you call these things that are flying and you have the string in your hand? Yeah, the kites. That love the kites, and they come from everywhere in the world and show their kites, show off their kites. And it's really exciting. The whole sky is vibrant,
It's funny. I misread that. I thought somehow, because they're all together, I thought they were all part of a kind of installation. And and I was trying to work out what the theme was that connected all the different kites together. Of course, it was the fact they were kites rather than dolphins or sharks or whatever. Right. Okay. There's another nice shot of that. Okay. Well, moving from here we go. These fireworks were great. They were exploding everywhere around you. It wasn't just in one place. They were up in the sky and they were changing all the while, as you can see. I wouldn't mind getting some of those actually. They're really spectacular to put over any event.
Yeah, they're really pretty if you set your sky to midnight.
I'm pretty sure that both of these regions, I set my sky to shared environment, which I'm slowly getting into the habit of. Just got to remember to switch back to that if I go back to normal. But Yeah, sad that some of the detail didn't rest there. So actually, the only thing that didn't feel realistic to me is just all these volcanoes seem to be too small. They had a building next to it.
Yeah, okay, but many of the volcanoes they are real. She explained, and I looked it up in the internet afterward, that there are altogether 33 volcanoes on the Canary Islands,
Right.
and 5 of them are active presently. You remember the big volcano outbreak on which one of the on Palma, near Palma,
Right.
a few years ago, that buried so many houses and buried half of the island practically with black ashes. Unfortunately, nobody died. That was quite a disaster. It was quite a long time that this outbreak lasted. I remember being here watching it on the internet day after day, practically, and it changed the look of the island quite a bit, because much of the lava went into the sea, went cold, and it made a whole
Yeah.
new part of the island.
Yeah.
And it was
wow.
quite,
That's
yeah.
quite fascinating when that happens, because most
It's
people
quite.
are worried about sea
Look,
level.
to be true, it's quite deadly when it happens.
Oh God, yeah, I wouldn't want to be
Yeah.
around.
Power,
If
the
you
power of
are
Mother
near,
Nature.
yeah, if you're near a volcano, I think you won't find it so fascinating anymore. You just curse it and want it to stop.
I'll
But
just look at the satellite photos. I think that would do me.
yeah, that was.
It's funny. It is actually funny that we are increasingly worried about climate change and change to our environment. And although there's sea level is going to be rising pretty phenomenally, over the next decades. There's also, climate change is bringing, there's a lot more earthquakes and volcanoes and things and tectonic plate shifts, which in fact may create new land that's okay with the sea level rise. It's not going to be comfortable because it's a change for a lot of people, but it's interesting that we're losing land to the sea and also gaining new land through things like.
Oh, but we're losing much more land than we're gaining. I mean, the sea doesn't have to rise more than a couple of meters, and Holland, the Netherlands, will be completely gone. There will be nothing left of it, and England probably is the next. Great Britain.
Yeah, our
because
coastline.
it's so low.
I've got a map of our coastline somewhere which doesn't look like Britain in 100 years.
Yeah, no,
oddly enough, floodplains and things that we've already got, the government still builds new houses there. and the residents say, oh, it's flooded.
No, I think altogether this is a really horrible imagination, to think about it, a horrible vision, that the sea level rises, and the way things go now, within the next, I don't know, 100 years, there will not much left of many lands, of many countries, because if the sea level rises like 7 meters, which is what scientists say, there will be practically only the mountains look out.
And do you really want to get this close to a volcano? It's like a ski lift, but
no, this one is the Teide. It's the highest mountain of Tenerife.
Oh, right.
Of the island of Tenerife, and it's for the natives there, it's like a holy mountain.
Right.
And it's really cool to go up there because it's really high.
Yes, you can't. It's more like a model that we're looking at here. But
I didn't know that you could go up there on a lift kind of thing.
Yeah. It's probably the
I've
most popular island, isn't it? It's a very kind of, it's
and I wouldn't say they are of different sizes. There is Canary Island, the one, the Palma.
yeah.
Palma is the capital. Then there is Fuerteventura, and then they're different ones, and the very small one that's called I don't remember now.
Too
And
small down.
some of these islands, I think on one she shows it, have black beaches. The sand is completely black. That's from the volcano.
Oh,
Um,
right, right.
And the lava.
yeah.
So what
Surrounded by the sea.
the lava's decomposed into? Oh, is that it there where it gets dark in the? Oh, I don't know. I can't tell. It looks like it. So I said the lava sort of decomposes into sand, but ends up being a different color, or I guess.
Well, the sea. When you get that stuff onto the ground, onto the sea level, then the water does the rest.
Yeah.
Let's see if I find all the Canary Islands here.
Oh, that's cool. Like at the beach bar. I can't read what that says, but yeah, again, it's lovely attention to detail. When you sort of it's one thing.
I was happy.
It's terraforming.
I was happy that Safari went to see this build because I discovered this place, I don't know, several months ago.
I love that bit there when you go through this portal thing, you end up in the club. Yes, we're getting there. Yeah, I did. I was in camera and I didn't realize it was there, and my camera slipped through that cave. I was like, "Whoa, where am I?" Because it's a whole underground sort of club area with the.
Oh yeah, that was the moment when the big thunderstorm started here, and I preferred to turn off my computer because I thought, it's a new computer, and something happens with a thunderstorm. I'd rather turn it off.
Yeah,
and then after a few minutes, the electricity went off anyways. So I was sitting here in the dark.
I dread electricity cuts because everything in my home relies on electricity. The modems, the smart lights, whenever there's a power cut, it's not power cut so much. It's when you turn it all back on again, everything's got to be reprogrammed. It doesn't recognize itself.
Yeah.
So they're threatening to send some electricians to modernize some of my stuff. And I said, well, if they come, they're going to be responsible for the reboot afterwards. Yeah, but this is a nice club. This is the color, the hues of it all down there, and the stage I like. But you just don't expect it because it's just under one of those buildings, and it's like the club itself is a little world on itself. It's actually totally underground rather than a building in as such. Yeah, there we are. It's under that road. It is. Every time my camera slips, you see it again. So these are in the Atlantic, aren't they, off Spain? The Spanish-owned islands, are they?
Yeah, they're near the coast of Africa. Morocco.
Right, okay.
Near the coast of Morocco. That's part of Spain from the time of colonialism.
There's quite a lot of islands because there's Mallorca and Mallorca, aren't there? They're all...
Mallorca is in the Mediterranean. That's near the coast of. The nearest is Barcelona, I think.
Yeah, I see. So that's still Spanish, but I don't know why I assume they're off the west coast. That's just me being stupid. And then there's Portugal. That gets in the way of everything.
Yeah, Portugal has quite a few islands thereabouts too, and Spanish also has the two parts of well, I think Morocco itself in I don't know what they call they're really colonies still, where the Spanish live, but also natives still live there, Africa, two little parts, and then the British that have the mountains of Gibraltar, which is part of Spain.
Yeah, that is weird, Gibraltar. I don't know why
Yes, it is.
not
And
quite why we
the
would want to.
Spanish are always um, claiming the part, of the Gibraltar, because it's part of Spain.
Yeah.
But when somebody says, well, what about the Moroccan parts, then the Spanish always say, well, that's quite a different thing.
That's so contentious.
Mhm.
It was I can't remember what it was all about now, but many years ago when Margaret Thatcher was Prime Minister, Thames Television, as they were then, they did a documentary on Gibraltar,
Ah,
including special air services using it for testing and also the debate. And I don't know what, I forget the exact detail, but Margaret Thatcher was so furious that she put that whole television station out of business, and they never come back. You still occasionally see their logo on the production, but that is so corrupt. She just like, well, they don't like what they're doing, I'll shut them down. That was Thatcher for you. Sorry, sideline there. Okay,
oh,
that's the end of that.
the two colonies of in Africa of Spain are called Ceuta and Melilla. Maybe you heard about it because quite a few of refugees come into the country from there. So it's really very interesting and very dramatic part, and it's very, very beautiful there too. It's Africa. You notice when you are there, it's not Spain anymore. You can feel it, you can notice it, the climate and everything, and the landscape. But everybody speaks Spanish.
But same with British. I mean, I'm trying to. You were talking about, Tenerife. You were talking about. What's it? There's another sort of private island in the Caribbean, and when British, it's not a British's holiday destination. It's like an island for the idle rich. I try to think of the name. I can't remember the names of it. But all around the world, Spanish and French as well, and British. Islands seem to exist all over the place, and there still are, microscopic things that are our territories. Not to mention things like the Falklands and South Georgia. That's far, and they're not exactly tropical ideals, And what's fascinating is America making land grabs now. They're making territorial claims, like not ocean claims, but territorial claims on, in the Arctic, where the ice is melting and there's new sands and new sea routes opening up. And Russia's at it too.
Yeah. Well, really, this has been going on forever and ever already, for at least the last 200 years or more.
Yeah.
That they're claiming and reclaiming lands from somebody else, or when the Americas got colonized, that was like discovering excuse me, discovering new country, not considering that for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years people were already living there, had their societies there, had their structures there, and nobody cared about them, or almost nobody.
The South America too, the Spanish basically just
Yeah.
Aztec and Mayan, ruins.
That in Spain, even today, it is being celebrated, the day of the conquistadores. It's an official holiday in Spain still, and it makes me puke, really, because they really well, but like the Americans also always celebrate still the day of, practically
Columbus Day.
conquistadores of North America. No? Oh, these are lovely. What is this?
And this is this is a film we took back in May of for a previous show. This is the same gallery that Star now has on the new grid, but this was
it's the border too.
Where was it? Star Desktop 0506. It was on the other grid basically, and I just thought I'd run it now because we've finished with
it just looks lovely.
And in here, there's the whole wall of where women artists. Actually, that's why I didn't include it in the latest bit of film, because I knew it was pretty much the same as this.
Yeah, this is the previous exhibit.
Why do I always get stuck in the walls? Filming a gallery is not that easy, especially when the walls close in on you. That's lovely. There's a lovely sort of suite there. Had to place here again. One's almost tempted to go in and walk around and take screenshots of each of them. That looks like those are in the picture. But that'd be cheating, really. I think it's best to just, if people want to see them close up, they can go there. Yeah, this is some lovely artwork. And of course, most of this artwork is Outworld, shall we say, not isn't just all Inworld pictures like so many galleries would do. That's a nice elfin kind of figure. So all the content in here, how did all this come about? The original gallery, because on the new one is pretty much the same inside, isn't it? How did all the contributions and the theme of this come about? I'm sure we've mentioned it on previous show, but
well, it took me about a year to actually build the gallery, and then I just started asking people if they would submit some artwork, and of course I had my own photographs that I used to create the women's exhibit. What we're looking at right now are women that have passed on, and that spot right there is permanent.
She says it's Susie on hers. Yeah, sorry. Cherry again.
Yeah, now you're looking at the women's exhibit.
Nice juice again. And Tina. All names we've mentioned today. Miss Cal. Oh, remember Hugbug. I love that name, Hugbug. Forest, of course. One way or another, all these have come into our conversation today. Well, most of them.
Yeah, we've got a lot of incredible women in Open Sim.
Yes, we do.
Very talented.
Yeah. And there seems to be a bit of a maybe I'm just thinking of it.
And some talented guys too.
Of course.
Yes, of course. I sort of keep thinking it's kind of a bit of a resurgence in the interest in galleries recently. I mean, even says this new Safari region she's making an art gallery on that, and there's well, I don't know. It just seems like I've been floating around an awful lot of galleries in the last recent months, which is great. Sort of. I've yet to hear really. I know in real life, for example, many years ago now, a friend of mine did some very lovely paintings that I like, and I took some scans of them, and I you know, I put a little gallery together of her work in one of the regions I had somewhere, you know, and I said, well, you know, nobody can. This is so low resolution in real life that there are no threat to copyright or anything. You couldn't even print a postcard, but in the virtual world, where proportionately, you know, people can buy a copy and hang it on their wall in their virtual home. And although it's only micro transactions, potentially, you know, it's better to have 1,000 things at £1 than to sell 2 at £100. Because at the end of the day, you make more with the massive micro transactions. And I've been on the lookout for instances where that's actually happened, but even in Second Life. But as far as I can tell, you know, I know some musicians can make a living in Second Life one way or another, but you know, actual artists are trying to sell micro sales to a gallery, and of course, you know, having links through to websites where they can buy real prints. But I always thought it was an excellent way to, you know, put a gallery on the web for real world artists, so you can, you know, can buy a miniature to put in your home, or you can order a real world print for your other home. I don't know, but it's not nearly as dominant as music is, anyway. And there is some amazing stuff, and of course the art in the virtual worlds itself, not possible in real life type stuff. All right, well, we've all gone sort of quiet here. There's this film, I think, well, it was about 7 minutes ago, but I think it's all, I'll skip forward a little bit just in case it's, actually it is just a tour of the gallery by the look of it, so keep it running. Whilst we wrap up, I think. I have not heard the wolf yet. I can see him poking through the curtain. I don't know where you noticed this, Star, but there's a sort of wolfy dog thing poking through the curtain. There he is, right?
There you go.
I see him over there.
Yeah. Well, basically, when he howls, like he did just now, I think he thought I was telling him to howl, you know. It's uncanny, that. But when he howls, it normally means he's getting hungry and that he's going to pester us if we don't, you know, go off and feed him. So it's our cue to close the show.
That's a good idea.
Well, yeah, it's a bit play acting, really, but it's quite funny because sometimes I'm talking away and the dog howls, and I think, oh, grief, he's got much better timekeeping than I have, for sure, you know. And then other days, he doesn't howl. Anyway, so cunning
individualistic wolf.
Yeah. So, James, any more questions for Star before we close the show? Star in particular.
No, I don't really have anything. I love watching the progress on work and building, and I'd still, you know, you didn't talk that I could tell much about Land of Czar, but I don't know if that's still going on or.
Yeah, that's
Land of Czar is still there.
Yeah, okay.
It's on the new grid. I brought Land of Czar, the gallery, and then there's a region next to the gallery called Creative Vision Society. I had ores for those, and then I had an ore for the 10th Dimension project. So,
okay.
You know, those are on the grid, and then some regions have been added, like Mystic Pines, Electric Vortex, my shopping region called, by my name, Star Raven First Designs. There's a couple of other regions that are that I have added for upcoming projects, and then I have a couple of tenants that have regions. The Cosplay Universe is a shopping region, and that is owned by Artman Zoo. and he has his main shop on DigiWorlds. But when he heard that I was starting a grid, he wanted to come and help support me, and so we set him up, for a region for his cosplay. And then the other region is actually a friend that brought me to OpenSim years ago. But he went back to Second Life because Second Life was more fun at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we first came to OpenSim, there wasn't a whole lot going on, and he was a whole lot more social. Where I wanted to build and create, where he wanted to. Plus, he wasn't able to do the things that he likes to do, like fly, sail, blow things up, things like that.
Definitely
in OpenSim at that time. But OpenSim has progressed a great deal over the the past decade. And so when I got the grid, I talked to him and I'm like, why don't you come back to OpenSim? It's a lot more stable. You can get a region on my grid, and you should be able to do the things that you want to do. So he agreed, and he came back to OpenSim, and so he has a region, and he's experimenting. So who knows what he's gonna come up with. And cool. So right now the grid has 12 regions.
Okay. So cool.
Yeah, the Land of Czar we've been to too. I just what clip I'm showing now is actually the old gallery region, but somewhere I've got film of the Land of Czar, but I didn't include it when we yesterday when I was filming.
Did the Land of Czar dragon make it to the new grid?
Yes.
With the art gallery, or because I love seeing that dragon at the old art gallery.
Yes. The dragons are all in the sky, and in fact, there's a couple. Other regions got a dragon too, because that's who I am.
Excellent.
I gotta have dragons in my skies.
That's right. Excellent. I love it.
And even the shopping region has a dragon flying around.
Perfect.
I like things, the groups of birds and things, they make great for environment, but the dragons, they just seem a bit iffy to me, but they have one wonderful use, and that is, if I can lock a camera on the dragon that's flying by, then it can do all the filming for me. Because my camera will follow the path of the dragon. And, for a few minutes at least, I can take my hands off the camera controls. So there, a little trick.
That's a great idea. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, it's like an AI to make your film for you. Just click on the dragon. Anyway, this one's nearing the end. Tosha, any more questions for Star?
Well, no, not questions really. I have to make a remark though, and this without wanting to be fishing for compliments. I am really flattered that you put me into your galleries of women artists, because I really don't consider myself an artist. I'm like a bricklayer,
Oh,
More.
you misunderstand, Tosha. That wasn't the women's exhibit isn't about women artists. It's about women creators, and you belong in that group.
Okay.
Believe me. Grid owners, builders, creators, artists, singers, DJs, everybody, any woman that does something in OpenSim, which we all do, belongs in that exhibit. And I hope that I can take a whole lot more photographs and get a whole lot more women in that exhibit, so that they get that recognition.
Okay, then that's all right. But the other thing, like I said, I don't really. When I see all the artistic works of the women around me, or in OpenSim, then I really think, not me. I'm not an artist. I'm a builder. You
No,
know.
the photography was my art, for the exhibit, and you were one of my subjects for my photography. And
Okay.
in
Okay.
fact, I
I'm
love
all right
I
with that.
love I love photographing you, Tosha. I just love your avatar, and I can sometimes you have no idea. I snap a whole lot of photos of you that you never see.
And
Because I can only post so many. But yeah, your
when I'm
avatar is great to photograph.
when I'm coming around too, I always find Tosha. I mean, I mean, she's remarkable avatar, especially her hair.
Yeah. For
Yeah,
that,
it's
I don't dare to
very
change my
photogenic.
hair anymore.
Yeah, I can see you from a distance, and just pan in and sort of click on that hair, zoom. No, it's perfect. And what is art anyway? It's like some people call themselves craftsmen because they don't seem creative enough to be an artist, but they're skilled enough to be a craftsperson. But
Yeah,
then,
that's what I
but
say. That's what I
some
mean
people,
with a bricklayer.
but some people
I
are
feel more like that.
both. Some people's craft is an art, vice versa. So,
I don't know. I consider what we do, our builds and everything, is another art form. It's just another medium
yeah,
that we use. But when you build a world, that's art.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it really takes a lot of pressure off me when I say I'm not an artist. I'm a bricklayer. Because then I'm among the normal people, and if I do things that are not so well done, that's all right because normal people do like that. But if I'm an artist, for me everything has to be, in a very special way, and I'm not that way. And I really don't have so much imagination. Most of my things that I do, I copy somewhere. I rebuild reality. I don't create things of my own in my own imagination. So
Mm.
that is for
There's
me,
nothing.
I think, the difference.
As many
Well, that's
musicians and artists will say, there's nothing new under the sun.
Well, that's true.
Everybody uses influences from here, there, and everywhere, even if they don't
that
concern.
is true. Well, that's why I always say I pretend to be an artist.
Yeah.
So, and I've
But
said that for years because embracing, the title of artist, yeah, that does seem a little overwhelming.
yeah.
I get overwhelmed, I get awed and by the imagination, the creativity, what people do, the ones that for me are artists. And I'm just not that way. I have to know exactly the things I do and how I do it and when I do it, and not just being able to think. I don't have so many creativity in my head. It just it's just like that.
Well,
What I like to do is to make things that you cannot see in a normal way, in the real life, make the forgotten or almost forgotten to be seen again. That's what I like.
yeah.
Well, that's
Well,
Tasha's talent.
we're all together behind here practicing the art of dance. Well, I don't see stars here, but on the screen, it seems like I think it's a Valentine's Day. Me, Tosha, James in the background on the line dance. This is
Yeah,
art. It's just called strap-on art or something. Anyway,
Valentine's Day. That must be years ago.
it's not. It's my recent avatar. I can tell by the costume.
Funny.
I don't know where it went. Well, I can tell you. It's 15/2/24. So yeah,
Oh,
15th of February, I guess.
what's
Where
this
where
here?
it was, I'm not sure, but it's one I just took. And it just says Meadow Shah Active Dance GIF. I don't know. Anyway, there we are. So I thought it was nice to have something fun dancing in the background while we finish the show. Okay, well, yeah, it's been wonderful having you here, Star, again. I'm
Thank
sure
you for having me.
I'm sure we'll do another thing again when you've got, firstly, after the gallery's opened, of course, and sort of maybe be there to film Rogue, and yeah, I'll have to think about that actually. Sort of both Rogue and I'm terrible. I can never remember the names when I need them, can I? You know, I sort of say August, but what's the name? Forest. That's it. Rogue and Forest. So that sounds like a good opening lineup. Yeah, but after that's open, maybe we'll certainly have another visit in the future with something a bit more elaborate dedicated to you. And yeah, I think we all enjoyed the return of Safari, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
All four of us. So
Oh, yes.
a big well done to our favourite other person Thursday for all that. And yeah, I have no idea what's on next week, but do join us for that. If you basically, it's noon Pacific time and it's 8 p.m. in Britain and 9 p.m. in Central Europe. And we meet on a grid, oddly enough, called Safari, which if you go to hgsafari.blogspot.com, you can read the text from last week's visit, the pictures you've already seen, and you can find the exact new link you will need on that blog as well.
Just put it in the lower third too, Mel.
Oh, you have? Okay, I've forgotten exactly the full text, but it's the grid is called HG Safari anyway. I think I've got it bookmarked as Safari Port, whatever that meant. Right. Okay. Well, here we go. I'd like to thank you, Star, for being here. Great to have you, and we will see you soon. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks to the Button Man. And even if he was sitting on jellyfish, I can't get over that. That sounds rather. That sounds rather
easy. That was the best sit I've had in a long time.
Better your ass than mine, put it that way.
That's right. Thanks, Val.
And thanks to my wonderful co-host and her wonderful new technology as well with covered machines, Tosha Tyrant. Thank you, Tosha.
Thank you, Mel. And special thanks also to Stars. I really enjoyed the session tonight.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back. Okay.
You got your computer issues solved.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
And the best of all, my new computer is practically silent. There's no noise of the machine or the ventilation. It's practically silent.
Nice.
That's really cool. It's really very cool.
Remarkable.
Well, I hope it stays that way because it's a refurbished one.
Is it a solid state disk or a spinning disk?
Oh, don't you ask me these kind of things.
Yeah, if there's no spinning disk, that's why it's quiet.
I just know it's a refurbished one from a very, very cool French company, right. And which has a very good name. And my brother recommended it to me, and he knows more about computers than I do. Yeah. So I just did, and I'm just really glad because it was also low cost, being refurbished.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, absolutely great.
We hope for the best.
Indeed. I'm sure it'll keep you going a good long while. And we'll have, we got you back again. Actually, it's only 1 week. And actually, it was last week, the American holiday, of course. What was it called? Labor Day, wasn't it?
That's right.
So it was, people were visiting other people and all that.
Yes.
Yeah. So back to normal now, if you can call anything normal around here. Right. Okay. Well, thank you again, everybody. And I'm going to wish you all a very good morning, a very good afternoon, a very good evening, and indeed a good tomorrow, depending on wherever and whenever you are. And for now, at least, it's a wrap. Bye-bye.